After 9 years has passed since Chelsea's last trip to Brentford, which was an FA Cup 4th round tie at Griffin Park in January 2013, we look back at the Blues lineup that day and bring you up to speed with what they are doing now. It seems Chelsea will be making the short trip across West London to face the Bees in something that is reserved for the seasons after we've been crowned European champions. Yes, back in 2013 campaign, when we made our 7th and final visit to Griffin Park for a competitive fixture, we were still less than a year removed from our maiden Champions League triumph, although our grip on the trophy had been relinquished earlier on. Rafael Benitez was the man in the hot seat, having taken over from Roberto Di Matteo earlier in the season, and his past role with Liverpool made for a bumpy ride during his short spell at the Bridge. So, to continue the symmetry, how apt that his current role would see him at Everton, where his past role with Liverpool. You get the idea? Well, enough of Rafa Benitez. Let's look back at the 11 players who started for Chelsea in a 2-2 draw, as we twice had to come back from behind through Oscar and Ferran Torres goals to get us back to the Bridge, where we emerged with a 4-0 victory. The keeper on goal on the night was Ross Turnbull, although he only made 16 starts as a Blue, and most of them in cup games such as this. Turnbull enjoyed a trophy-laden stay at Chelsea, including Champions League when he was on the bench for the final. Since hanging up his gloves in 2017, Turnbull spent a few years as first-team goalkeeper coach at Aston United, but earlier this year he returned to Chelsea as an academics goalkeeper scout. Ivanovic. Those of you who actually did watch the Champions League group stage, you see Branislav Ivanovic. He was actually, him alongside Michael Essien were involved in setting up the group stages. The Serbian defender, who became a Blue legend during his 9 years stay in Chelsea, was last seen on the football pitch at Stamford Bridge. He was playing for West Brom back in April, and sadly he had to come off due to injury, which turned out to be his final game at the Bridge. Ivanovic was most recently on the books of West Brom. Another player who was on the starting lineup on that day was Gary Cahill. While his longtime Chelsea teammate Ivanovic might be without a club, Cahill had no such trouble finding new employment when his Crystal Palace contract expired in the summer. Albeit he has had to drop down into the Championship. The centre-back, who appeared 290 times for the Chelsea, is currently yet to taste defeat in the league for top of the table Bournemouth. John Terry. It's fair to say JT didn't enjoy the 2020 campaign, as he started only 11 Premier League games, but the most successful Blues keeper of all time was a regular in the cup competitions. For the first time in his long football career, Terry is currently unemployed, although it is by choice, as he left his role at Aston Villa as assistant coach in order to focus on taking his first managerial position. Another player, Ashley Cole. England's most capped fullback, is a Chelsea legend despite his long ties with Arsenal, as he enjoyed the best years of his career at Chelsea. After spells with Roma, LA Galaxy and Derby County, he hung up his boots and came back to Cobham to coach some of the younger age groups in our academy. He now combines the role with that of England under-21 assistant coach. Another player who was on the starting 11 that night was Marco Marin. Our transfer business in 2012 saw us sign several playmakers, including Marin, but it's fair to say things never really worked out for the German international. In 4 years at Chelsea, he was largely away from the Bridge on loan, and he is now playing in Hungary for Ferencváros. Following spells in Saudi Arabia, Sevilla, Greece, Marin is now in Hungary playing. Another person who was on the pitch that day was Ramirez. Yes, the Brazilian midfielder became a cult hero at Chelsea, as much for his energetic performances in the middle of the park as for 2 goal of the season awards, netting 34 times in all competitions for Chelsea. Almost 6 years have passed since his last appearance for the club, and he has been on the lookout for a new team since last November, having terminated his contract with Palmeiras. Frank Lampard Super Frankie has recently been linked with a number of coaching roles after his 18-month stint at Chelsea, which came to an end in January. Back in 2013, he was approaching the end of his time with the club on the pitch, during which he had established himself as perhaps our greatest ever player, as he scored a club record goal of 211 goals. Wow. Another player is Ryan Bertrand. This was Bertrand's best season as a Blue, following on from making his Champions League debut in the previous campaign, as he established himself as a reliable option at left back or left midfield. After leaving Chelsea in 2014, he has played for Southampton, where he made close to 250 appearances, and now Leicester City, whom he enjoyed in the summer. Bertrand in action for the Forces almost in all game days. Like Ramirez, Oscar was another player on the pitch and had a penchant for world-class strike. 2 goals of the season awards are testament to that, and he scored on one of his 38 blue goals in this trip to Griffin Park. Since leaving Chelsea in 2017, he has become one of the few long-term overseas success stories in the Chinese league, as he became a huge favourite in Shanghai Ports. Oscar has spent the last 4 years in Shanghai. Fernando Torres was Chelsea's club record signing at the time, and his equalizer against Brentford, while far from his most memorable strike for Chelsea, was one of 45 he scored for the Blues. He retired from playing in 2019 but teased a return earlier this year before taking up a role in Atletico Madrid's academy as a coach. Let's not forget the 3 substitutes called upon in this game either. Cesar Spoleta was one of them. We wonder what he's up to these days. No, we don't wonder. He is the Chelsea captain, current Chelsea captain, and one of the most successful Chelsea captains since after John Terry. Andrea Mata also made an appearance. Juan Mata right now plays for Manchester United. 7 years after leaving Chelsea, the 2-time Blues Player of the Year remains at Manchester United. Then there's Dembaba, who recently announced his retirement following a short spell with Lugano in Switzerland. Wow, what history. These players actually were the last players to face Brentford in any competitive fixture, and tomorrow Chelsea will be going head to head again with Brentford for the first time in the Premier League. Fingers crossed, but we believe Chelsea will definitely do the goods. Anyway guys, I'd like to get your comment on this video. Please subscribe to our channel if this is your first time on our channel. Remember to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon too to get notified whenever we drop a new video.